I was sheriff of this county when I was 25 years old. Hard to believe. Grandfather was a lawman. Father, too.
No Country for Old Men is one of those stories that contains so many familiar elements, but still feels original. It's a Western. It has sheriffs, cowboys, and money, and of course, shootouts. But what makes No Country stand out from all the other Westerns? Old Westerns, where it portrays a kind hearted cowboy and a mustache twirling villain. No Country for Old Men shows that reality is often much more complex. The film starts out with a monologue from an old man reminiscing on good old days of being a sheriff, mentioning that sheriffs back in the day didn't even carry guns all the time. We first see our antagonist Anton Chigurh covered completely in head to toe in black, being arrested, and then immediately brutally killing two innocent people. We don't know what his motive is, or who he is, or how he even ties into the movie and its story yet, but we as the viewer have been thrusted into the cruel world of No Country for Old Men. When we finally meet our protagonist, he's a charming cowboy who fights the good fight. He is pretty much everything that we've come to expect from a Western hero. Dwell Moss comes across the aftermath of a cartel shootout and finds a suitcase of $2 million as he embarks on his journey to outrun the cartel and Anton Chigurh, the hitman, as they come after him. And while it may seem like any other old classic Western of cowboy versus the bad guy or the bandit, he ends up dead, just like anyone else. In the film, it comes rather unexpected. There's no real conclusion to his story or what even happens to him. His death is off camera. This is where I feel the real moral of the story comes in. The story, more than anything, is about the inevitability of fate and chance, and the inability to accept a changing world. One character that I haven't mentioned yet is the sheriff. Sheriff Bell has been a man that's been with us the entire film, but he's been more of a background character. He's who you hear at the beginning of the film reminiscing about good old times. But after multiple watch-throughs of the film, I feel pretty safe in saying that Sheriff Bell is the definitive true main character of this story. After Moss's death, Bell has a hard time coming to grips with the fact that he was unable to save the day. Throughout the entire film, Bell is pretty much just only talking about all the crazy events going on in the world around him. He's an aging man in a very quickly evolving world that he feels is leaving him behind. He feels that as the sheriff, he is responsible for everyone's safety, that he needs to be like the old cowboys of westerns and come in and save the day. But as his brother points out to him,
that's vanity.
When Bell goes to visit his brother, he tells him of a story of how their uncle died after being attacked by a group of Indians in what was supposedly the good old times, leaving his own wife a widow. The final scene of the movie shows Sheriff Bell on his first day of retirement talking about the dreams he had the night before. The dreams contained his father, who himself was a sheriff. He still looks lost in this old, made-up world. What I love about this movie so much is how, unlike most westerns where the hero comes out on top in the end, fate often tells a very different story. No Country for Old Men is definitely my favorite film of all time. Unlike most other westerns, it's telling a story with a much deeper level of sophistication and with a deeper meaning than you see with anything else from the genre. I love the way that they subvert everyone's expectations by making everyone think that Moss is the main character, when in the end it's very clearly a story about Sheriff Bell piecing together what he can from this world. In the end, it's a story about accepting the world for what it is, and that no matter what you try to do, you can't change fate.